Hello, Taurus. Your cards for October start with number 3. And what this card is talking about is not getting in our own way. Doing what we feel is right, what we know is right, regardless of what others may say, Taurus. So you have a gut feeling, you have a hunch, you have thoughts, feelings, opinions, maybe even a couple qualms about a situation and how things should go. But maybe the people around you are not as supportive or they don't share that viewpoint. If we're talking about you in October and what your goals are and what you need, make sure to follow your ideas for it, because even if somebody else's ideas, plans work, you may not be satisfied with the result. And if you're the main person affected, what's most important is how you feel about in that situation. With the Knight of Swords in reverse, I'm seeing that, and by the way, you have 3 swords cards. So we have a lot of facts, truth, thoughts, opinions about things that are coming in and out of the situation, okay? So with the Knight of Swords in reverse, I'm seeing that you really want to get something done. You really want to move towards a goal, but you either aren't moving towards it right now, you feel stuck for some reason, or we're getting a lot of chaotic energy. So what I mean by that is we're still trying to accomplish it, even though we may not know too much how we're going to do that, and we're trying to be productive by just doing a thing or doing many things, but those things may be conflicting. They may be drawing in people into the situation, and then because they're following your direction, but maybe you're not clear on what your direction is, that's kind of messing things up. People are basically, shooting themselves in the foot a little bit. We're making things a little bit more complicated than we have to do because we're moving before we're thinking things through or planning things out. And Spirit is encouraging you to slow down a little bit. Again, do what you feel is right, or move in a direction that can, maybe if there's somebody else who's bringing their ideas in, moving in a way that moves them a little bit closer to what you're doing, meeting each other halfway, even if it's 60-40 towards you, but not just doing things in order to get stuff accomplished, right? Because that can work sometimes. And sometimes it's just about getting things done. But if we're too here, there, somewhere else, right, then it's just being stuck, but feeling like we're moving because we're, waving our arms. It's like moving a swing. There's motion, but you're not getting off of the playground, right? So we're still not accomplishing the goal when we're doing that. With the Queen of Swords, she's asking you this month in October to balance your feelings with the facts. So that goes back to meeting people halfway, even if it's 60-40 towards us. And it's also about looking at why we're doing something a certain way, okay? So again, doing what we think is right or moving towards things that feel like a better move towards a solution. And why we feel that that's the case. Are we being too influenced by others? Are we too focused on what should be the right way to do something? Maybe why we've really been, going back and forth, maybe it may not even be that somebody else is trying to convince you of another way. It could be that the correct way for society, or how you've always heard it from other people, is to do something in X way, but you've been trying to do something X way for a certain amount of time and it just doesn't go anywhere, right? So if it was the right way, why is it so difficult? Why is it causing you so much grief? Maybe that isn't the right way. Or maybe you've only heard something defined in a certain way, or all the people around you, again, have that same opinion, and they may not be trying to get you to do it in that way, but you were on autopilot in a certain case, right? So the Queen of Swords is asking you to, sit, think about certain things and why you've been doing things in a certain direction. And what would be best? What do you truly in your heart think, okay, this will actually work the best, or this feels the best? Like, I wouldn't even want it if it worked out X way. So I need to really think about what makes sense in this circumstance. Like, would it actually be better? Am I swimming against the stream here, against the current? It would actually be better if I did it in the way that's not the way to do it, or the way that, society or whatever thinks would be the most correct. And then we have the Six of Swords. So this, just ties in. All of your cards are really honing in on the same message here. So the Six of Wands in reverse is something that needs to be left behind, but we're not really leaving that behind. We're struggling for some reason. We're not letting that go. Why are we not letting that go? Why are we struggling with this? Is it because we miss it? Is it because we think it's the right direction, the right decision, the right storyline? And again, going back to the Queen of Swords, why do we think it's right? Why do we think it's the right direction? Is it because that's how we truly feel with the third card that is the right direction? Or optics wise, it seems like that should be the right direction for whatever reason that we believe that optically it would be the best. So in the month of October, there is something that, quite frankly, you already have the answer to, you already know how to solve, but we're getting a little distracted, we're getting a little lost in the sauce with other people's opinions, whether it be literally someone in front of us or some sort of societal ideal. So Spirit is saying, in October, sit with yourself, think. Queen of Swords, balance, truth, and feeling. And let's see if we can't get to the bottom of what will truly move you forward in your endeavors in October. If that resonated, like and subscribe below. I'd love to see you one more time in the Empress's court. And I'd love to reach 100 subscribers. So if this resonated with you, I'd love to see you again. Love to see a subscription. And I will see you next time. Bye.